Hi there, welcome to I Lone Fly Tarot. I'm going to do a tarot card reading for Sagittarius energy, and we're going to read it from a couple different perspectives because people have free will. Some people harness high vibe Sagittarius energy, some people harness a more worldly focused Sagittarius energy because they're still caught up in the illusion of the world, and that's the most important thing, indulging in the things of the world. Shadowy Sagittarius is kind of being a little bit of an immature player, and there's a time and a place for that in our life. And some people are in that time and place even if it's way past that time in their life, and it's just making the world and the things of the world or indulging in the world more important than love. Why would they do that? Because they think that's what event will bring them. That's what they derive as long-term happiness, I guess. And then you have people who are much more shadowy, who are kind of maybe use their sexuality or their charm or their charisma or their looks in order to manipulate people in relationships. And high vibe Sag is people who have freed themselves from their more egoic nature to live their authentic life, to look at life as an adventure to be lived. I'm not going to let my past pain and heartbreak hold me back from living life. And the highest energy of all that we thrive the best in and we grow the most in is being in authentically loving relationships. And some people are bold and brave enough to do that and have learned the lessons they need to learn to harness that energy. So, what's going on? We start out with the card not showing itself. And it might have to do, the underlying reason for the reading is the World card. Some people are putting an end to mutually loving relationships. They don't want to do that because they love the world. And they love repeating an old pattern of way of living life because they maybe either don't want to see the truth, because the truth is what sets us free to go forward and live our life differently. And it's to learn the lesson that it is about love. And if we don't make our life about love, things probably aren't going to turn out the way we thought it was going to turn out. And the first card we start out with is the Knight of Swords, which is Gemini energy, which is a dualistic sign, and it has to do with what am I going to align with within myself that I think I can manifest my dreams into reality? Am I going to love my more worldly nature and love the world and make my life about that? Or am I going to learn the lessons I was meant to learn, to love and believe in myself, to keep moving forward in hope and faith and belief and love, and growing to like my full potential and continuing to grow and mature myself in my life? And we start out with the Knight of Swords. People are declaring their truth. So maybe we're going to see by the actions people take and what they speak, what their truth is. And sometimes people can go get in relationships with other people. That's what this could mean too. I'm going to go speak to someone. I'm going to tell them I've closed out a chapter with someone I might have loved, or because the Queen of Cups can mean like a mutually loving relationship. Some people are closing out a relationship with a Scorpio because I view the Queen of Cups as Scorpio. Oh, and the other thing is about Scorpio energy, some people have learned lessons in life because they do have a dream and they want, high vibe Scorpio is, I want to be in deep, meaningful relationships. And we all repeat these patterns of relationship to get clear about what our truth is. That's what the Knight of Swords is about. What's my truth? Some people are like, nope, I'm not doing deep, meaningful relationships. I get hurt doing that. I'd have to grow up. I'd have to mature myself. I'd have to get out of my fear or my insecurity or my pride or my ego or my more worldly nature or emotionally defensive nature. I don't want to do that. That's not my truth. And other people are like, I have learned lessons in life and I do want to be in deep, meaningful relationships. And the people that are in shadowy energy, they're willing to end relationships with loving people because they're not aligning with their more loving and hopeful, believing nature. I want to be in relationships with people who will indulge me like a mother would, where I can be immature, prideful, egotistical, stubborn, whatever, or they just love the world and the things of the world and addicted and, controlled by the same things I'm controlled by. And neither one of us believe in life has any higher truth or meaning to it than indulging in the world. And other people are saying, I don't want to be in relationships with people who indulge me. And I don't want to be a person who indulges other people in their more shadowy nature. I want to be in relationships with people who've learned lessons in life, that it's about love, who are willing to speak their truth, that there is a higher truth, a higher purpose to being on this planet, that indulging myself in my ego, that there's more to life than that. There's a higher truth and justice to aspire to, and some people don't view life that way. So it also has to do with how they harness this energy. Some people harness this energy in a high vibe way. Some people harness it in a shadowy way. And some people don't know where people stand. It's like, you're not telling me what your truth is. I don't know. So some people might go to talk to someone to find out what their truth is. 8 of Pentacles. Virgo energy. Some people refuse to harness high vibe Virgo energy. I don't want to put in work and effort to see the truth, to grow and mature myself and learn the lessons I was meant to learn. I like living life the way I've lived it, and that's the way I want to keep living my life. I reject high vibe Virgo energy, and I have a more worldly focused Virgo energy. And we all harness these traits and characteristics of the different zodiac signs. It's just, so you don't have to get caught up in if the person you're dealing with is this or that zodiac sun sign. It's to listen to your intuition about who harnesses these in a high vibe way and who harnesses them in a more worldly or shadowy way. Who doesn't want to put in work and effort? Who doesn't want to grow up and mature themselves? Who likes to be defensive? Who's defensive to love? Who likes to be indulged? Well, those are the people that don't harness high vibe Virgo energy. They don't want to put in the work and effort to learn lessons in life. They don't want to see the truth. They want to keep living life the way they've lived it. They want to keep repeating a pattern of the past. I probably want to be in relationships where people indulge me being in my ego or my immaturity or my selfishness or my greed, or where I can, we're talking about Sagittarius energy, and I want to be in a relationship where I can be an immature player. People don't require me to grow up and mature myself. Other people might want to go get in a relationship. They're no longer working with the people who are in shadowy energy. They're cutting the people who harness shadowy Virgo energy out of their life. And they're telling them, I have learned the lessons I was meant to learn from knowing you. And it's about love, mutual love, deep, meaningful relationships. And you apparently don't want to do that. So I accept the truth so that I can close out this chapter of my life and move forward. And they could probably not understand why the high vibe people are able to move forward in life and live life differently. It's because they went within to deal with their fears, their insecurities, the things that they kept hidden in the dark that they hadn't wanted to look at, or just the things that they were clueless about until they got in a relationship with people like this. It's like, oh, not everybody's motivated by love. Not everybody wants to be in deep, meaningful relationships. I didn't know that. But now that I've been in this relationship and I've seen that other people are motivated and inspired by different things, wow, I need to put in work and effort to love and believe in myself so I don't keep indulging people like this in the world. Because if I want to be in mutually loving relationships, I have to learn to wish the people that I might have love for peace, but I can't be in a relationship with you. If you're not willing to invest time, energy, and effort to be in a relationship with me in a truthful, honest, loving, mature way, then I wish you peace, but this relationship needs to end. And I'm going to put in work and effort to focus on my future. And some of the everybody could be communicating to people who wants to be in a relationship with me. I ended a relationship with certain types of people in my life. Who wants to put in work and effort? The other people are like, who wants to indulge me? I ended a relationship with loving people. I don't want to do that. I want to focus more on the world. I want to focus on money and materialism and status and image and indulgence. Do you want to work with me? So then We have the Four of Pentacles, the Page of Wands, the Nine of Swords, and the Five of Swords. So in between the 9 and the 5, we have the Four of Swords, Libra energy. Some people might be cutting a Libra out of their life, or someone who they thought would be just and fair, and they weren't just and fair. And so some people are holding back from some people in their life who they thought would be just and fair. And they could be communicating to future people that they want to move forward with. That, I've given a lot of thought. In the Nine of Swords, there's a maximum of 10 in every suit. So, if there are 9 swords up in their head, that means they're focused on one cup of love down in their heart. And the high vibe people, it probably has caused them stress because there's someone that they're moving away from that they did have love for, whether that's a child, like an adult child, a sibling, a parent, a friend, a romantic interest. It causes them stress and gets them kind of up in their head, but they're focused on in the Five of Swords, what's my dream? I have a dream I want to bring into reality. And if the other people keep staying up in their head and they keep holding back and not opening up, and they're not communicating with me, telling me about their fears or their insecurities that they have about their Taurus energy, which Taurus has to do with, how people view the world, how they view themselves, how they view relationships. Shadowy Taurus energy is people who are all up in their head about their image and their status and how much money they have, and are they going to be able to keep up with the other people in the world, and isn't that the most important thing? What if I really did go do what I really wanted to do in my life? What if I got in the career field of my dreams? What if I went to school for things that I really enjoy, but maybe the things that I really enjoy and the people I love that I could work with in a relationship? What if we don't have the money and the status and the image, and they just don't have hope and faith and belief in their dreams? So some of those types of people quit trying to heal, because the Four of Swords energy is about trying to heal a relationship or yourself. They didn't heal a relationship with someone who they could have had their dreams come into reality with because they were so worried about the world. Four of Pentacles is Capricorn energy, and that can be, isn't life about putting in work and effort to have the stability and the security and the image and the status so people look up to me and admire me? That's how I've grown up believing life is. And they could have been in relationships with some other people that, I think it's about, high vibe Capricorn is about, I think there's more to life than my ego. And I'm going to put in work and effort to free myself from my ego, because shadowy Capricorn is represented by the devil. If I make money and materialism and status and image and my own indulgence or my own ego ahead of love, what kind of relationships am I going to end up in? I might end up in jobs and careers and relationships with people who are also kind of prideful and egotistical and selfish and greedy and immature and indulgent. But I have fear about believing in my dreams. And they'd have to do that work to see the truth. Why do I have all these fears and insecurities of believing that I can manifest my dreams into reality? The divine works with all of us to manifest our dreams into reality. I mean, look at some of, whether it's art or painting or math or science, whatever your thing is. If you believe that, if that's your unique talent, skill, and interest, that is a unique gift given to you, because we've all been given unique talent, skills, and interests. The divine knows we want stability and security, and we'd all like some of the finer things in life. We just listen. Our job is to listen to our intuition. That's like going with the flow of the universe. You've been given unique talent, skills, and interests that you really enjoy, that you really like, that make your, you get caught up in the zone, the hours fly by. That's where you should focus your effort. Then holding back from that and kind of aligning with your more fearful, insecure, immature, worldly nature, because the divine wants us to be free, to be at a place of balance. The fives talk about balance since there's a maximum of 10. You know, if you're not too much up in your head and too much down in your emotions and things like that, you're at a place of balance. And the Four of Swords is represented by Libra energy. We do best in our life when we operate from a place of balance because we're not making decisions tipped out of balance in our fear, in our insecurity, in our pride, in our ego, in our more codependent, materialistic nature. Have some hope and faith and belief. That's Aquarius energy and high vibe. Have some hope and faith and belief that if you put work and effort into believing in yourself and listening to your intuition and maintaining your balance from a place of love and respect for yourself, that the divine's going to work with you. The Hierophant is like a universe card, a major arcana card in the tarot. You know, that we live in this world that's kind of like, you could almost look at it like a real live virtual simulation, you know? And we are manifestors. Look at all the things that people have manifested since caveman days. All these things that exist in the world didn't just miraculously pop into existence one day. You know, human beings use their own creativity and ingenuity to take what they'd learned from the past to add to it of how they think the new creative spin could be on it. It's just like when you raise children. You know, if any of you have kids, you probably wouldn't raise your kids and treat your kids and talk to your kids the way that your parents talked to you. Not to say that the way your parents did do that was wrong. It was the right time for that life. But we've all grown and changed and things have changed, and we've all got to grow and change with the times, and we're meant to do that. We're meant to grow and evolve and change over time and add our own unique spin to how take the good things from the past and build upon it. But some people are so afraid of that. They have a lot of mental conflict about that. And it could have to do with their underlying philosophy of life in their Taurus energy. That no, it's supposed to be done this way. This is the way I view life, or this is the way I grew up viewing relationships. And it could be that, you know, we're supposed to hold back from taking creative, inspired action. Maybe they grew up in families where people were really stressed out if people actually believed in their dreams. You know, what would the neighbors think? What? You want to go be an artist or a singer? Or, oh my gosh, you want to be an accountant or a lawyer? We're all artists and musicians. Oh my gosh, what will the neighbors say? You know, and they could have grown up with people who were like, no, you know, shadowy Aquarius energy. I'm the boss. I'm the center of attention. None of you are supposed to believe in your dreams. We're supposed to be in this relationship for my ego, for my image, for my status. You're all supposed to give up your dreams because I want to look like I have the picture perfect family. And you all need to not take creative, inspired action. You need to restrain yourself from listening to your intuition and believing in your dreams because it's all about my dreams. That would be shadowy Aquarius, that it's all about them. Everybody else is supposed to put aside their pride and ego, but never them. So some of the people who are really afraid of living their authentic life, they grew up probably really being limited and restricted by all these rules and regulations that, you know, they think they're supposed to live by in the world, which is not like anybody vocalizes all those. That's why, you know, so much of it is just all in our own head, you know. But some people really do want to win at all costs. That's also what the Five of Swords can mean. It's like, oh my gosh, you know, I have to have this certain status and image. In their they could harness shadowy Capricorn energy, where it is all about money and materialism. I am more aligned with my more immature worldly nature. I don't look at life from a higher perspective. I am in my more immature worldly beastly nature, and I haven't evolved into looking at life from a higher perspective. I don't have hope and faith and belief in healing. High vibe Aquarius would be people who are willing to step outside of societal norms to bring needed change to the world. You know, like when you see injustices happening in the world, You know, people who harness some high vibe Aquarius energy would say this isn't fair. The establishment is too controlling and restricting. You know, it's causing people a lot of stress and conflict because they feel like they're not having their dreams come into reality. Well, why do people who might be in a position of power and authority not want to change and have mental conflict about change? Because the system benefits them. And that can also happen in relationships. There can be men or women who have a certain view of relationships that when I get in a relationship, I should be able to be bossy, controlling. It should be all about me. Because that could be either just how they think about themselves, and they could be kind of immature, or they kind of grew up in families that said either the man should be this way or the woman should be this way, or whoever has the more masculine, feminine role, whatever, is the one who gets kind of the scales tipped in their favor. The other people should just want to be in a relationship with them and kind of be codependent on them. And sometimes that can be whoever has the power and control and the status and the image or the social influence or whatever. And if they think I have these things of the world, because that's what Taurus and Capricorn energy can be, look at me, look how good looking I am, look how charismatic I am, look at the power and influence I have, look how attractive I am or think I am, look at the money I have. Well, if I have those things, then guess what? It's more about me than the other people in the relationship or at work, whatever, you know. All these things can apply to workplaces just like they do friendships and relationships. You know, and then they don't really open up and they don't freely give of themselves. I have these things. Don't you want your dream to come into reality? I have these things. Page of Wands is about communicating to someone. Don't you want these things with me? Well, some of the people who are like that, it's like you just have to give up on your dreams. Stay right here in a relationship with me, even though it really might not be love. But do you want the status and the image and the things of the world that I have? And some of you might have been in a job or relationship with people who are kind of stubborn and prideful and petty and egotistical and self-centered and immature, and or a romantic relationship. And you said, yeah, I have a mental conflict about this. This isn't my dream relationship. This might be yours. And you might want to be in a relationship like this. And this might be your dream relationship. And if you can find someone to be in it with you who's all about staying in their comfort zone and never stepping outside your comfort zone and never dealing with any of your past pain and heartbreak or fears or insecurities that make you keep repeating this pattern and never growing and maturing yourself or dealing with any of your past pain and heartbreak, that might be their dream life. I don't, because some people reject Virgo energy. I do not want to put in the work and effort to figure out why I'm like this. I don't want to figure out why I have so many fears and insecurities about love or getting in a relationship or being in a relationship, or why I'm prideful or egotistical, or why I'm self-centered, why I'm immature, why it's all about me, why I'm so afraid of living my authentic life. And this would be their dream relationship. And some of those people are telling people, look at me, I'm getting in a new relationship. It's like the relationship of my dreams. I found someone who wants to be in a relationship with me because they have fear about believing in their dreams too. Isn't this great? It's like, yeah, it's great for you. If that's the type of relationship that you and the person you're with, if that's the way you want to live your life, you've got free will. I just don't want to be in a relationship with people who are like that. So people who were in a relationship with people who are like that, and the people who might currently right now find themselves in a relationship like that, some of those people are going to be done working together with those people with the Death card and the Six of Cups. Because I want to do love. And if I've been trying to offer you love to get you to put an end to repeating this pattern and this way of being, some people, the Six of Cups can talk about repeating a pattern. The Death card and the Six of Cups are both Scorpio cards. There's some people who like, it's like their comfort zone. Shadowy Scorpio can be people, I don't want to have deep, meaningful relationships based on love. I have fear of that. I don't want to do love. I get hurt doing love. And I'm willing to do almost anything to avoid being hurt at that level, you know? I if I am in a relationship with people who want to do deep, meaningful relationships and love, I don't want to be in relationships with them either. Just like the high vibe people don't want to really be in a relationship with them, because high vibe Scorpios, people who are willing to explore the highs and lows of life, it's like, oh my gosh, I got a lifetime to live. Bring it on, God. I want to experience it all. Yes, I want deep, meaningful relationships. Yes, I know that some of them will end, but I believe that I will be able to learn the lesson I was meant to learn from that life experience, to stand up for myself and believe in myself. And if I get in relationships with people who seem to have a lot of stress about believing in their dreams and they're bossy or controlling or stubborn or prideful or selfish or greedy, I believe that I will love myself enough to be able to emotionally detach from those people, because that's kind of what the Scorpio death card talks about. If I get in a relationship and people are being selfish, greedy, defensive, prideful, egotistical, immature, and they, for some reason, think it's just and fair to be that way, and they think I should, out of my own fear of detaching from them, that I'll just keep in non-life-giving energy and keep working with them in a relationship, no. I'll love and believe in myself enough to put an end to working together with them. From the Six of Cups to the Ace of Cups means letting go of a Five of Cups. And that's being in a relationship where people are more focused on the past pain and heartbreak in relationships of the past that didn't work out, that it stops them from being in the present moment and moving forward in love. And even though I will be sad that I'm not going to work with these people because I had hopes that a dream would come into reality with them, I can't keep staying in a relationship with people who keep trying to stop me from loving and believing in myself, because they're so afraid that then, I'm going to grow and change and heal. And in order for them to move forward with me, they have to grow and change and heal. And they have to quit repeating some of these ways of being in a relationship. Whenever we move forward in life, when we're age 15, we have a certain viewpoint of life and how we act, and it's perfect and right for when we're 15. And then we go to like age 18, and somewhere in there we start shedding some of those more immature ways of viewing life, and we become like an 18-year-old. And then that's perfect. And then we start to become 21, and we shed some of those 18-year-old ways of being, because, we've kind of outgrown them. It's time for us to grow and mature ourselves and take on more responsibilities and have more confidence in ourselves. And then we let some of those things. And there's some people who could be like, oh my gosh, like I got in a relationship. I'm done, honey. Yep. Oh, by the way, yeah, I'm never going to grow and mature myself anymore. Whatever way I am now, this is the way I'm going to stay forever in the relationship. I have mental conflict. My goal was to get in a relationship. And now that I'm in a relationship, I'm going to be kind of immature and indulge myself in it. And, oh, are you stressed? Oh, did you want a dream to come into reality? Oh, sorry. Yeah, no. No, this was my dream, just to get in a relationship. And have stability and security and have someone I can indulge in, like sexually. And then that was it. I never plan to ever detach from any of my old ways of being. Whatever way you married me, that's it. I'm going to stay that way exactly forever. And this relationship will not grow and evolve and deepen over time either. We'll keep being this certain way in a relationship, which again, shadowy Scorpio can be, it becomes an emotionally shallow and superficial relationship, because there's never anything new added to it, because they refuse to do that. And some people, it's like, I have this certain view of life and how people should be in a relationship. I'll do this, you do that. That's what my dad did. That's what my mom did. This is what I did in my last relationship. That's what I love, and I refuse. Like that's like the stubborn, prideful way of viewing a relationship. This is the way it's supposed to be done. That's the way like my parents did it. And that's what I love. And that's how you have to do it too. Well, that's selfish and greedy and stubborn, right? If you're going to get in a relationship with people, we all have wants and needs that we want. And if we're going to work cooperatively with other people, we all have to realize that there's going to be some things that we maybe both have to kind of cut out and compromise on if we're going to move forward and creating our own loving relationship. And some people, unbeknownst to you, are like, no, 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 I never plan to gain any insight or add upon the old foundation. I love the old foundation. I like wanting you to play the role of my mom. I'll play the role of my dad or vice versa. And we're just going to repeat that pattern because I think that was great. And I was just like, oh my God. Anyway, so some of you, you've already closed out that chapter and you've walked away and you've healed. And you're listening to your intuition and you're moving forward and communicating to other people in the world who you think listen to their intuition, not staying stuck in denial of the truth. Because that's the Two of Swords in Libra energy is kind of like, do you listen to your intuition? And are you willing to love yourself to be more emotionally independent of the past, of your egoic nature, of your more emotionally defensive, stubborn, prideful, worldly nature, to let your dreams and your inspiration and your intuition guide you forward? People who harness high vibe Aries energy want to come together with other people, being bold and brave and confident that, life's about continually learning these lessons. And every time we go to like the next level of life and we learn a lesson from the past experience, it can be scary because we have layers and layers of our worldly nature. The next relationship, even though we could have learned the lessons we were meant to learn from this relationship, we have layers and layers. It's like peeling a never ending onion. There's going to be things within us that bubble up, fear and insecurity and stuff like that. And that could be why the other people are fearful of doing life differently. This makes me feel safe and secure and stable and grounded. If I move forward, I'm going into unknown territory. I'd have to listen to my intuition, and some people don't have any practice, I think, listening to their intuition because they just don't live their life that way. They could be people who live more from their mind. We've had Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius energy out here. That the swords is air sign energy of the mind. Some people are much more comfortable living more from their mind and their heart than connecting in with their emotions and their intuition to guide them. And in high vibe Aquarius energy or Aries, you have to be bold and brave and confident to step outside your comfort zone. I mean, it's just like a kid, when you're young or even as an adult that you move to a different town to go get employment or, to move in a relationship, or to go to college or all those things. They were all scary when we did them, if you've already done those things. And we're meant to do that throughout our life to keep facing some of our fears. But some people are like, nope, nope, not doing that. Anything that I would have to do differently than I've done it, I don't want to do. And they're unwilling to like connect in with their emotions and their intuition and their more bold, brave, confident nature. And so then, sometimes that pattern repeats. They go get in a different relationship. And, we can all get drawn and attracted to people because we kind of have similar wounding or, we have similar views in life a lot or children or religious factors or whatever. And we can get in a relationship with them. And then we don't realize that, oh, I'm someone who does put in work and effort to deal with my fears and insecurities and my self-learning beliefs because I don't like to carry them around from decade to decade. And then what you don't realize about the person you get in a relationship is they're like, yeah, I never do that. No. I mean, there's a lot of people in the world who never want to self-reflect. It's like, oh, it's over. Well, what about that? And, and relationships or whatever. And they just never deal with it. And they think, I can just ignore it. Well, as long as they haven't healed from it, those issues from their past, even if they shove it in a corner in their a box in their brain, it's still like giving off energy of pain, heartbreak, fear, insecurity. You must be defensive, blah, blah, blah. Don't trust this person. Other people have been untrustworthy. Other people have held back from you. Other people were prideful or competitive or manipulative or immature. This person might be prideful, competitive, immature. They might, and it affects the relationship. And so, them thinking that this is the bright idea, I'm not going to deal with it, ends up sabotaging them, you know? And they can get in these relationships, and initially they could be all excited, but then I think they're always fearful. For one, if they're fearful of being more vulnerable and authentic and loving in a relationship, I think they're always fearful that the people they get in a relationship with will heal from some of their past pain and heartbreak and self-limiting beliefs, and that person's going to want to move forward in a new way. And they know they don't like to do that, but they're not telling the truth. And then they could hope that the person they get in a relationship with will just have too much mental conflict about ending it. It's kind of like appealing, getting them in a relationship, and then hoping to use the worldly things of like pride and ego and public whatever, that people won't be willing to end a relationship with them. Well, that's like kind of blackmailing people, right? It's like, I'm not going to tell you that I have these certain ways of being that I like to be. And by the way, I don't ever plan. Some people cling to a foundation, a friend group or their family or something. And they never plan to detach from those people, to be more independent and like create their own life. It's like people who have divided loyalty. Well, I love them and I love you. And I really have, that would be the Two of Swords. Like, but, I have this divided loyalty. I'm kind of codependent on them for whatever, my sense of emotional well-being or sense of stability or whatever, and I feel like I have to equally be as loyal to them as I am to the people that I'm trying to get maybe in a marriage with and start a family with. And that's pretty crazy. But some people grow up with like have friends and family members in their life that would really have a lot of mental conflict if those people were to go live their authentic life. You're supposed to make us the center of your world. You did get married, but we come first. We have a shadowy Aquarius energy. We're supposed to be the most important thing in your life. And then that's maybe how they are or not. It's kind of interesting how some people in a family dynamic, they can think that they can be the boss of everyone else's life, but nobody else is supposed to be the boss of their life. It's like, well, who the hell made you God that you somehow think you should have a position of status and authority in someone else's life who's trying to live their life, but yet they let you live your life independently? Well, that's different. Yeah, isn't that nice that that's different? So some of you might have already moved on, and you're telling the people that you had previously been in a relationship with or that were in your life who were stubborn and prideful and immature and self-centered and fearful of being loving or just and fair. High vibe Taurus is people who act with character and integrity. They're really like a spiritual leader in the world. There's some people in the world, they want to act like they're a pillar of society, but they're not. And you're telling them you're selfish, you're greedy, you're immature, you're prideful, you're egotistical, you have fear of looking at life from a higher perspective, even though you profess to believe in a higher truth and justice. But really, you're all about yourself. Because if you're fearful, if you want to get in relationships with people, if you're fearful and insecure, you should be truthful and honest. But to present yourself as harnessing like high vibe Sagittarius energy, like, yeah, I'm willing to go on a journey with you, but that's not the truth, you're lying. And if you know you're fearful of love and being hurt and you have a lot of mental conflict about detaching from your original family or your friend group and being more independent in the world, well, that's a lie. And if you're kind of prideful and egotistical and you think it's all about you and you don't tell people that, that's a lie. And if you're someone who likes to be in a relationship and be immature and indulgent, but you don't really think you have to open up and freely give of yourself, but you expect other people to do that, well, then you have a screwy sense of what's just and fair in a relationship. So I think there's some people right now that are trying to get someone to get in a relationship with them. Some of those people, as you move forward in your life, any of you people, if you're not in a romantic relationship right now, you're going to have different people. You could be kind of wondering, does anybody have the same dream as me? I don't want to repeat these patterns. I want to be in a relationship with someone who's loving and balanced and doesn't have these stubborn, prideful, indulgent views of relationships, Is anybody think that way? And I think you could have different people who pop up in your life that you could meet, or people from your past who might pop up in your life. Some of those people know that you love and believe in yourself. Some of those people are in shadowy energy. I don't want you to go get a relationship with someone else. I want to be the one to indulge in a relationship with you next, or to get back in a relationship with you. I don't want your dreams to come into reality with someone else. I know you're a loving, giving, kind, warm, just, fair, loyal, committed, creative, inspired, because that's Sagittarius energy, partner. I want to stop you from getting in a relationship with anyone else who'd offer you love. And if it's not someone from your past, it could just be someone who's like, oh my gosh, if I got in a relationship with you, it'd be good for my ego and my image and my status. So I think the whole thing is you have to listen. In your Four of Swords energy is to reflect on the truth of anyone who communicates to you that they would like to hold on to being in a relationship with you. What is their motivation? Or if you are someone who seems to have a lot of stability and security, it's like, perfect, I want to be in a relationship with you because I don't want to have to work. And I'm willing to give up love in order to have the status and the image and the money and materialism. And there's some people right now who are rejecting loving people in their life, or already did reject loving people in their life, because they want to look like a shining star in the world. And if there's someone who they think one day might communicate with them, or is communicating with them right now, or they're hopeful they will, they're going to keep ignoring loving people in their life because they want that image and that status and money and materialism, and they are emotionally shallow and superficial. And others of them, the reason they're rejecting love right now is because they kind of reject that within themselves, and being in an unloving relationship could be a pattern of way of being in a comfort zone for them, which I think one of the hardest lessons to learn as human beings is to learn to love yourself. And I think we'll keep getting in relationships, and we could reject loving people in our life as we're growing up because we're not used to being in relationships with people who treat us the way we treat them. It's like, this is out of my comfort zone. I'm kind of used to being in relationships with people who are kind of selfish and greedy and bossy and prideful and egotistical and defensive, until we see the truth of it, that, oh, because those relationships don't go well and they probably end. And eventually it's like, oh, I needed to learn to love myself and treat myself the way I wish people would treat me, instead of looking outside of myself, because that's our more codependent nature. And the whole thing was to teach me to learn to love myself so that I could get balance within myself, and I could put an end to repeating these patterns. And then once I have learned that lesson and I have done that inner work to heal from my past pain and heartbreak, I'm better able to connect in with my intuition. And it's easier for me to go with the flow and look at life as an adventure to be lived and get in relationships with other people who are more emotionally independent and bold and brave and confident, because now that's what I've aligned with. Have learned to love myself and get myself free from my more codependent nature or fearful or insecure nature, or just growing myself up and not as immature or reckless or whatever as we can be when we're younger. And now I'm ready to get in a relationship with someone who's on the same page as me. And there could be some people in the world who sense that you're about to do that. And they might pop back up. It's like, I got to try to stop them, from getting in a relationship with the person that I know they'll like have their dreams come into reality, because their dream, when they went to go repeat a past pattern, it maybe didn't work out either, because that is why they don't work out. And if you already know someone has a lot of growing up and maturing to do, odds are that other relationship eventually will end if it hasn't ended yet. Unless they get with someone who also is willing to indulge them, because they got their own lessons learned. But some of them, that relationship might not have worked out. So now they might think you look like the more victorious, successful option, and they want you to put an end to like being balanced and loving. And instead of moving forward in your life, they want you to come back and make them the center of your universe again. And some of you are like, no. The Eight of Cups walks away from the Seven of Cups. I wish you peace, but it's just not, really what the truth is. You've seen through the illusion of it. And the whole reason why you could have gotten in a relationship with them was because, unbeknownst to you, well, if they didn't move forward with you in a just and fair and loving manner, which is the free will choice they had, you saw the truth of what they do choose, and they don't choose love. They choose to be defensive and hold back and be stubborn and prideful and be immature and maybe try to manipulate you and cause you all this mental stress so that you don't move forward and believe in your dreams, and you go back and indulge them in their shadowy energy. And you're like, I'm no longer an illusion about who you are because you showed me the truth of who you are. I wouldn't recommend saying that. You have free will, but I think it's pointless. And especially if you think you were dealing with a narcissist who is very self-centered. Anybody who's really hurtful and unkind, and, it's one thing to break up with people and have a relationship not work out where people are loving and kind and regretful and sad, but for some reason, the relationship isn't going to move forward. And then the people who tried to cause you all this mental conflict and stress and anxiety, and it's all a manipulation tactic for you to do what they want in a relationship. That's how they go about things, and that's not the loving choice, but that's like their default position. So I think people are getting in I think some of the shadowy people are either moving forward in a relationship because they found someone else who doesn't believe in their dreams and has lessons to learn from them, just like you could have. And those people might have a new beginning, and they're going to go indulge in that relationship for as long as it works. Others of them might be ending a relationship they're in, because if there's someone who really has the things of the world that they want, or they're really still caught up in their ego, that I am sure those loving people will come back and indulge me in a relationship. Or the person who has the things of the world that I want, I'm sure one day their relationship will end and they'll come back and get in a relationship with me. They might end a relationship that they're in thinking one of those relationships is going to work out. But I think it won't be one of the high vibe people, because the high vibe people don't want to work with people who are defensive. They're holding back from people who have a more worldly view of life. They've given a lot of thought to what is loving and what isn't loving. And they see they can't reunite with that person, even though they can have love for them and wish them peace. They know that it's time to move on. And it takes time, to emotionally detach. So that's why, it can take a while to emotionally come to a conclusion on it, to see through the illusions that we had of people, and to really wrap our brain around the truth. And the truth sets us free. And that's when we could think about, who are the people in my life that I might have rejected because I basically had lessons to learn. I hadn't learned to love myself, but that were people who I think were emotionally independent and more intuitive and bold and brave and confident in love, that I could have rejected when I didn't know how to love myself. And you might be communicating with some of those people and getting in a relationship with them. And if that doesn't work out, that the opportunity to reunite with someone from your past, because they might be in their own relationship and whatever situation they're in, you're just going to keep believing in your dreams. It's like, okay, the people who are free to work with me, I assume if they're not free to work with me, the divine must have a plan for my life. And I'll keep moving forward and listening to my intuition and working and investing my time, energy, and effort into people in the world who are loving and kind and creative and inspired and just and fair. I've definitely learned not to invest my time and energy in the people who have already shown me that that's not their truth. So, but there could be, if you communicated to someone and then you move forward wondering if they would want to move forward with you, some of those people might communicate with you, but they might communicate how they have stress about being in a relationship with you, because if previously they thought it was a dream was going to come into reality with you and it ended, they want to know if you've really healed. And same way, if there's someone you would get in a relationship, if it's someone from your past or someone that you meet, is to get clear about, have people really healed and over their past relationships, or are they mad that the person they were in a relationship with is being stubborn or prideful or egotistical, and they're basically being immature and trying to cause their former partner stress and anxiety by getting in a relationship with you. It's like, I don't want to be a pawn in anyone's game. So if this isn't going to be authentic and loving, then this is over and there will be no reuniting or working together. I wish you peace. And so be clear about your truth. I am not interested in repeating any past patterns. These are maybe the lessons that I have learned and types of people I've dealt with. I don't want to deal with people like that. If that's where you're at or that's how you view relationships, teach their own. But it's not for me. So there you go, Sagittarius energy. I wish you peace, love, and joy, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.